Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. What's good, what's good, what's good? So, what do we have going on today? A lot of good stuff. Apparently, could just be me. Who is about to jump into the Canadian crypto market? Coinbase, MEXC, Kraken, or other? If it's other, just drop a note. That's all you got to do. Also, did you invest in yourself today? Inquiring minds need to know. So what's going on today? Let's see. Senators Cynthia Lummis and Bernie Moreno are telling, that's a strong word, are suggesting to the Treasury Department that they should not tax institutions for capital gains on cryptos. They urge the Treasury to exempt unrealized crypto gains from taxes to prevent firms from selling assets prematurely, aiming to maintain competitiveness against foreign rivals. Does that sound like somebody who actually understands crypto? You know what I mean? Like, because we want to stop you from premature. Who determines premature? Are you saying because, within this certain period of time, you have to experience capital gains? Like, I thought the longer you held, the less, I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be. But that does not seem like people that actually understand stuff. I mean, are they thinking that, oh, I'm not going to have to sell, so I'll hold on to it? What happens if they want to sell? So they don't pay capital gains. Do they at least pay some sort of tax? And when you say you don't want those firms to sell, are you just talking about the firms? Or are you talking about anybody? You see how kind of, freaky deaky that is? So, I'm just sitting here. I'm just wondering, like, do you understand how that works? Because I'm thinking, not so much. Not so much. And I'm also thinking that when you're talking about firms, you're not talking about the average person. You're not talking about the average person. So I want to see what they mean. I want to see that come out a little bit more. Just what you talking about. Just what you talking about. My man, Rick Ritchie. That's what's up. Yeah, I read that. I'm not even paying attention to Arizona anymore. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, but have reason. You know what I mean? Like they're looking into anti-money laundering stuff like that. Good evening, Paula. Thank you for letting me know that you invested in yourself like Rick Ritchie. That's what's up. You going to talk today, or are you just going to go straight to the corner and be quiet? I'm going to keep bothering you until you say something. Well, type something. Something beyond what you've already typed, that kind of thing. So looking at Arizona, yeah, I don't know that Arizona doesn't want a bill. I think Katie Hobbs might be thinking, maybe we need to give it a little bit more thought. Like, how does it work? What's the actual mechanism? Show me the analysis. Don't just shove a bill in front of my face. And I'm getting a funny feeling that a lot of these bills aren't really well thought out. I'd have to go download it and examine it, and I'm not going to go through all that right now. I got too much on the plate. I'm tired. Which reminds me, tomorrow's morning show will be at 5:30 instead of the normal 6:30. Just letting you guys know. What else do we have? Fed warning: the Federal Reserve highlights stablecoins as a threat to community banks by drawing deposits. Yeah, that could be a thing. That could be a thing. But I'm also thinking that that's okay. That's all right. I think all banks are going to have a problem with regard to stablecoins. And it's not just stablecoins. It's your bank. You can do crypto custody. Look into that. Maybe do something like that. That'd be an idea. I mean, it could just be me, but I'm thinking you could do something like that. Right? Like, give thought as to what it is you're going to do and how you're going to do it. Just an idea. right? And the reason why I say that is because, yes, banks have to jump through a lot of hoops, but there are services out there that banks can tap into. You can call Kraken or whichever other one where you can offer your customers this additional service. Create it, and so, kind of controlling your future. Because if Kraken gets business, or your partner gets business, you get a kickback from that business, right? Like you share a little bit in those fees or something, but you can cut the right deal. So maybe that's what they should be looking at. If I was a small bank and we just got the nod from the Fed and the OCC, I'd be looking into cutting a deal with, one of the major exchanges. That's what I would be looking to do. Or if I was a larger regional bank, maybe I'm looking to buy a small exchange. Just a thought. They didn't come out with it. They filed for it, and you should read my articles more. You really should. Yeah, just saying. Yeah, I have that. Gonna talk about it tonight. Like, I don't know. What else do we have? We've got Solana surpasses Ethereum in developer growth and DeFi adoption. Developer growth. I don't know. Like, what's determining developer growth is going to be my question. DeFi, I can kind of believe that, right? They're kind of big in the DeFi space. Cool. All right. Kind of. I mean, are you only looking at Ethereum directly, or are you looking at anything that's on top of Ethereum? So I'm kind of like, all right, that's cool. I can get it. Ethereum is still bigger, still growing, and has sped up their growth. Like if you just look at their numbers as of late, as I'm looking at them now, they're closing the gap. I mean, it was just a couple of days ago that they were 51% down year to date. As I look at the numbers now, Ethereum is only 19.19% down year to date. It's kind of a big deal. Ethereum is closing that gap between it and Bitcoin, which means that Bitcoin's dominance is also dropping a little bit. Just a little bit. And if I was everybody out there, I would stop comparing to Ethereum. I would start comparing Solana to products like, I don't know, SUI, Cardano, of course, duh. And of course, why not Ripple? I think Solana has issues, and I'm always going to think Solana has issues until Solana wakes up and says, we better be more transparent. Because I don't understand how anybody would want to work with Solana and they've got decentralization issues. And not for nothing, that could actually be a draw for certain companies. That even though you're decentralized, you're not really decentralized. We saw what you did when there was a problem. So you went out there and, you spoke to 70% of your validators and they were all able to keep it quiet. Yeah, that makes me stop and think. That gives me more than just a little bit of pause. Then you got U.S. inflation. April CPI rose 2.3% year over year, cooling inflation, with Bitcoin steady at a little over 103. I think it's at 104 and change right now. Yeah. So I was listening to some talking heads today, and they were all like, "Yeah, can somebody say out loud that Jerome Powell did the right thing by not lowering rates?" And then I heard Joe Kerner was like, "Well, yeah, but let's wait and see." Let's wait and see. Where basically the market is back to where it was before. It's gonna bother me because I don't want to say that word. April 19th. So we're basically back to where we were April 19th. And so if you look back on that day, if somebody would have said, oh, Jerome Powell should lower rates, everybody would have looked at you cross-eyed. So why aren't they doing that today? I mean, is it me? It can't be me. Well, let me rephrase. It can't just be me, right? Because I'm like, yeah, I think he did the right thing. And with these numbers, it's kind of like, there's still no reason. There's still no reason to drop rates. What is it, June, July, that the next one is? People are kind of like, I don't know. I know that's where I'm at. I'm on the side of no. I'm on the side of no. No, go to remember, that's the beta site. You have to go to the other website. And you should probably wait for me to get through the whole thing, because I have a whole bunch of topics that I go through. It's on the list. VanEck V-Bill Fund. Yeah, it's right. It's right there. It's number 10. It's number 10 on my list as I go down. So I got you, but you're so used to hitting that site. We haven't merged everything yet. So you're so used to going back to that site. I do the same thing, by the way. I do the same exact thing. I'll think I'm on one site and I'm on the other. Yeah, we have to get it done. I know. You have no idea how much content we have to move. We've got, in terms of articles, we've got over 8,500 articles and videos that have to be moved. It's a little bit of work. And obviously we're adding every day. Just saying. I mean, we're doing, I think on average, we're at like somewhere between 90 and 100 articles a week. That's a lot that we're banging out. You know, obviously articles with opinions and stuff like that. But yeah, that's where we are. So there's a lot. I'm also probably I'm not going to alter the show until I'm done giving all the news that I found. And then in conversation, there's something. So at the end of the show, that'd be a best place. Like if you don't hear me talk about it, that'd be the best place to put it. Not the end of the show, but end of news. Say it to you like that. But it's on the list. Might as well get to it. VanEck V-Bill Fund launching a tokenized U.S. Treasury fund on major blockchains targeting institutional investors. Right? And every time I turn around, do you hear anything much going for the retail investor? You hear a lot more about, institutional investors. You hear a lot more about that. Which, leads you to look at high net worth individuals, people that, play in the markets. It's not really reaching out to the regular person. Tonight's question, again, is who is about to jump into the Canadian crypto market? Is it Coinbase, MEXC, Kraken, or other? Should look at that. What else do we have? So VanEck doing that. When I look at what they're doing, I'm seeing a lot of tokenization happening. There's no doubt that RWA is going to be the biggest space out there. But you have to start thinking about, well, what's being tokenized? Like you kind of have to break apart tokenization and kind of bucketize it. So we've got treasuries, we've got stocks, we have real estate, automobiles. You see where that's going. So you kind of have to break it up to see, well, what is that? Where is that? So it's stuff like that I'm trying to pay attention to. What else do we have? We've got Galaxy Digital results. They're down. They took a $295 million loss on the quarter, but revenue surged 38%. They're not worried about it. They're about to go IPO, GLXY. About to go IPO on NASDAQ. They're not worried about that at all. They're making moves. And they're not worried about making moves either. They're making big moves. There are a lot of companies out there making really, really, really big moves. For them, like relative to them, they're making big moves. Right? Like it's like, so for Metaplanet, for example, having a goal of purchasing 10,000 BTC by the end of the year. What? we'll see about that. We'll see about that. And then just a piece of news, just because it was bothering me. Jamie Lee Curtis saw a deep fake video of herself on Meta. I think it was on Facebook. And she was like, "Is this what we're coming to, Zuck?" And guess what? Within hours, it was taken down. So it begs the question. She had to complain to get it taken care of. How many deepfake videos do you think exist out there? YouTube is just filled with them. I used to talk to you guys before about, I just saw a video about, with Warren Buffett talking about Bitcoin. Never. Maybe on his deathbed, he'll say something like, "Don't buy Bitcoin." I look at certain things and I look to see how it's going to affect, and I look at deep fakes as a very big deal. And you think it doesn't have anything to do with, your bags, but it does, because so many people out there get taken by deep fakes. It's like people get on me about, how come you won't click my link? How come you won't go to that link? Well, just tell me what it is. I'll do a search for it and I'll find it. And if I'm interested, then I'll go look at it. But I'm not clicking any links. Right? They're all security issues. How many people get taken by, I reported yesterday how people were landing on a legit website, but being redirected to malicious websites because they got hacked via DNS attack. Basically, they stole their DNS server and made the address point to different spaces. Yeah. So it's not a small thing, but amazing. It's amazing how Facebook was able to get that down, go take care of it. And you know how social media works. You know how it works. If you see it once, you're going to see it 50 times. This person shared it, that person shared it, this person shared it, da 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 da. And then you just have people repeat, not even sharing it. Because if you delete the original, the shares will go away. But then you have bots that are also posting. So how'd you take it down? Because that would mean that they do have a mechanism to stop fake news. Oh, now you see where this is going. Yeah. So when you see a deep fake video and it's talking about an airdrop or this, that, the other, there's a mechanism that they have that they can go find it and root it out. Do you have to be a superstar to do that? Is that what it is? Because if I reach out to Zuck and be like, yo, Zuck, so this is what we're coming to, he's not going to pay attention to me. He's going to pay attention to Jamie Lee Curtis because she's Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, she's not a superstar or anything like that, but she's still got pull. But the average person? I'm just saying. I'm trying to figure that out. I mean, I'm not trying to figure it out. We kind of know how that is. 21 Shares secures a $4.4 billion treasury via Tether's purchase of, actually it's 21, of 4,812 BTC. What that really is for, it's not 21 shares, it's 21. So remember a couple of weeks ago, I told you about Cantor Fitzgerald and Tether and SoftBank and a couple of others, including Bitfinex, are creating this new company called 21. And 21 is going to buy those shares, going to buy that Bitcoin from them at the same strike price, right? It's like 95 and change. And what are they going to do? They're going to be out there buying Bitcoin. But I guess Tether had the cash on hand to go buy it right now. I'm just saying. And I think that's why Tether is involved, because Tether's got cash on hand. I forgot how much money they have on hand. Like I know a little bit about Ripple, but I don't know how much money Tether has on hand. And they're probably like, no biggie. That's not even half of this month's revenue. Yeah. Yeah. So 21 is a new company that's partnered, like I said, partnered with Cantor Fitzgerald, Tether, Bitfinex. Who else was there? SoftBank, a couple of others, and they're creating 21. And all 21 is going to do is go buy Bitcoin. Sometimes I look at these companies and I'm just like, what business are you in? Seriously, just what business are you in? And if that's all you're doing, are you licensed properly? Right? Just inquiring minds. Inquiring minds. I expect Van Eck to come out with products like, like V-Bell, but 21 just going out there and buying just to invest. It's so what? It's just a gigantic holding company. So I'm looking at that, and that would give them a lot of, I mean, think about this. So you go out there and you buy a huge chunk of Bitcoin, and that's all you're going to do going forward. You're just, rolling forward. You're just buying up Bitcoin, buying up Bitcoin, buying up Bitcoin. And then you could take loans out on that Bitcoin to do other stuff. I'm dying to know what it is that they're looking into. Like, what does the future hold? Yes, you did what? Shalom. Yes, you did what? No, spell it out. Don't be taking, the easy way out. Like Paula. She hopping on here, not saying anything. She just hi, good evening. I invested in myself. And then that's it. I'm going to keep messing with her. I'm going to keep messing with her. I hope the bristles didn't catch anything. I hope it's all still there, nice and red. Smart Alec. Go in the corner. Smart Alec. What else is there? Yuan appreciation prediction. Goldman Sachs predicts that the yuan will strengthen against the USD. That's what they're thinking. And I'm sitting back and I'm kind of going, yeah. The US economy is a funny thing right now. Can you picture anything about the US economy that you can put your finger on as being dependable? The weight of the dollar versus other fiat that's out there. Can you put it out there? And don't be blowing me heart kisses, man. You stay your butt in the corner. No beer, no pizza, no nothing. You stay in the corner. Smart Alec. I don't know what's wrong with my ear. So then what really got me tonight, Fundstrat's Tom Lee. Fundstrat's Tom Lee disputes imminent recession fears, citing low consumer debt levels and past misjudgments by economists. And he's not wrong. He pointed to 2022 when there was a dip, and he's like, "Yeah, look at consumer debt. Consumer debt was low, and everybody was like, oh, recession,' and it wasn't." And he's kind of like, it's kind of looking like that now. It's kind of looking like that now. I was reading that egg prices dropped 12%. That's awesome until you realize that egg prices are still 3% higher than a year ago. Imagine. Egg prices are still almost 50% higher than a year ago. Yeah. Greed. So everybody's like, oh, egg prices are coming down. No, it's still 50% higher. You know what I mean? Like, people seem to react to the last thing that they see. And they forget about what came before that. And I'm kind of like, you need to be paying attention. And a lot of people don't want to pay attention to, historic facts. Egg prices? I got 4 kids. Eggs? I don't buy them by the carton. I buy them by the case. Eggs go like that. What? Eggs go in a heartbeat. 4 kids, they all eat healthy. They don't eat like pigs, but they eat healthy. And eggs are one of the most healthy things you can get. So I'm paying attention to that. Plan B predicts that Bitcoin could reach $400,000 based on RSI trends, signaling a bullish market phase. And I'm kind of like, Plan B is good at reading charts. Not perfect. It's been wrong. And Plan B has said, hey, I've been wrong before. But it's interesting to see what's going on. It really, really is. I'm waiting for the next, bad news event. And some people are thinking, Eddie, why are you waiting for the next bad news event? I'm waiting for the next bad news event for one reason, and one reason only. I want to see how Bitcoin reacts. I know it sounds like lunacy, right? But I really want to see how Bitcoin reacts. How does Bitcoin react to a small bit of bad news? How much does it drop? Because if you look at how it's been doing the past few days, a little bit of a dip comes back. Aloha 8 pause. Lex Luthor seems to think it's going to drop somewhere between 10 to 15% max. But that to me would be a dip. And Hutanik and I were chatting before about, well, is there going to be a dip, Mr. Cranberry Juice Teeth? Is there going to be a dip between now and June? Or, now and the end of June? And I'm like, I don't know that it's going to be a dip as much as it could be, equating to a heavier profit-taking period. And 10 to 15%? Is that a lot? If we drop right now, that puts us at 94,000? And you're kind of like, 94,000. You're kind of like, all right. Oh, okay. I can maybe deal with that. Or actually, no. 10% would put us around there. And you're kind of like, oh, wait a minute. I could put us in the 90s, high 80s. And then how quickly do you think we would bounce back? I tend to think that we're kind of in the upward trend. We're kind of going to see, a new high happen. Right? And I'm going to be wary right after that new high. As soon as we hit the new high, I'm going to be selling a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. Kind of dipping the toe in Profitville. Because who knows how high it's going to go. I'm thinking it could hit 120. But I'm probably going to pull out a bit. Right? I'm probably going to pull out a little bit. And I'll keep pulling out. And as soon as I see, a greater than 5% downturn, I'm just going to yank. Let's suppose I'm wrong. And I see it take a dip. And I go, I'm going to let it ride. I'm too lazy. I'm going to let it ride. I don't want to do that. Let's suppose there's a 10 to 15% dip. I'm willing to sell it all. And then when I see that trough, then get back in. And be like, okay, boop. I'm up so early, I catch the Asian markets. I can kind of see. So that's what's going on. Okay. So I look at the stock markets first. Okay. I look at futures. Mm-hmm. And then I hop over to crypto. How much are we decoupling? Stuff like that. And then I make a decision right there. Am I staying up a little bit longer? Or am I going to put my head back down and go back to snoring? And the reason why I bring it up is because do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Well, that means I've done my research. I'm waiting for telltale signs, right? That I've used my research to identify. And I know my entries and exits. And now I'm waiting to invest deliberately. To absolutely invest deliberately. Because what am I doing? Those telltale signs are going to tell me execute. So I don't have to think about what my execution process is going to be. I know what it is for every single one of my bags. So execute. That's all I have to do. I don't have to think. The telltale sign happened. Done. No thinking. Do it. And then, boop, all done. And talk about resetting my whole portfolio at that moment. Because then it would become, well, which one do I buy? Or which ones do I buy? Or it's simply like, I'm going to dump. And then I'm going to go get some PAX G. And I'm going to sit there and play tiddlywinks. Until I get the gut feeling that, okay, I can get back in. And then what do I buy? Some mid cap, some large cap, some micro cap. No. Charles M. I think no, because the way they're buying, they're not buying on the open market. They're buying via OTC, and those prices kind of come in and they don't really hit the market in the same way that other ways would. So what I think is going to wind up happening is they're going to go crazy. They're going to go buy stuff, and then we'll hear about it, and then prices will gently go up. You know what I mean? So look at Tether today. Tether bought, I think it was $419 million worth of Bitcoin, almost $500 million worth of Bitcoin. Awesome. Do you think they bought that on Coinbase the way you and I would? No, they bought it via over-the-counter transactions. And their strike price was about a little over $95,000. So it wasn't even, so right now they're sitting in a spot where they're already positive. Because they bought it at 95. We're at what? 104. So we're almost $10,000 up. I mean, for them, that's not a lot of money, but it's a lot of money for me. Shoot, what? So yeah, I mean, you start to think about that and you kind of go, holy moly. So that's what's going to happen. Okay. It'll go up over news, but it's not going to go directly up. You know what I mean? Supply crush could be. I don't think we will see it this cycle around. No, I think we will experience supply crush. And here's why. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but hear me out. Is this really a cycle anymore? Is this really a cycle anymore? Ask yourself, has anything this cycle been like other cycles all the way through? I don't know that it's a cycle anymore. I think we're dealing with different times, different actions, just different. I don't know that we have a cycle anymore. You think it's a cycle? It could be a cycle, but it's a completely different kind of cycle. Which is why I think that, yeah, we could see a supply crush. Really could. I believe you've seen analytics to it. I've seen analytics too. Doesn't mean that I subscribe to it. I think that this cycle is different than every other cycle for one main reason. No, I think these are more than just nuances, sir. I think these are more than just nuances, because what's the biggest difference between this cycle and all other cycles? What's the number one thing? Come on, I'm waiting. You're so quick to type. Let's go. Chop, chop. You're taking too long. You want to earn your way out of the corner? Come on, let's go. Come on, bro. You're taking too long. Chop, chop. What do you think the difference is? But it has major similarities to other cycles. Some, yes. ETFs, no. Wrong answer. Come on, try again. You're not even trying, bro. I'm ashamed right now. You're better than this. ETFs? Come on, man. Come on. Help a brother out. What's the major difference between this cycle and all other cycles? There are nuances, and there are vast similarities. State adoption, good try. No. You know what your problem is? You're too smart for your own good. So you miss some certain simple things. A hell of a lot more people know about crypto now than ever before. A hell of a lot more institutions know about crypto now than ever before. And I don't mean by a little bit. I mean by hella lot. Right? We didn't have institutions trying to get into crypto before. Not even close. And exactly. And retail has gotten smarter. And here's something else for you. When have you seen this level of implementation of the technology? Oh. So are we moving into, so here was the cycle before. Are we moving into a different kind of cycle? See what I mean? So we could call it a cycle, but is it the same as other cycles? No. RWA alone makes this a different kind of world. So what are you doing when you're doing tokenization? Oh, you're actually implementing the technology. Who did that before? At this level of, nah. I mean, I hear you. I mean, we both kind of agree. What we're saying is, okay, this is a different cycle. We might not see it. I think this is an elongated, completely different kind of cycle. I don't know that we're going to see huge ups and huge downs anymore. Because there are just too many kinds of offsetting events that can change things. Tariffs took a hit. So that was April 19th. Pew! That's what happened. April 19th. Where are we right now? April 16th, did I say? I think so. Something like that. 16th or 19th. Whichever one. And we're at May 13th. Oh. We're at May 13th. So we got rocked with crazy volatility. And then all of a sudden everything comes back. Nice and neat. Nice little red bow. I'm not trying to walk into a conspiracy theory, but have you seen how nicely everything just went exactly the way they said? I'm just saying. Look at what Rick Ritchie said earlier tonight. Here's Van Eck. Treasuries. Tokenized treasuries. Who are they going to introduce that to? Institutions. How long do you think it'll be before that kind of stuff trickles down and starts to get offered directly? Because there are going to be companies out there that just go, oh, they shouldn't be the only ones that have access to that. Oh, okay. And you start to go, holy moly, the world has changed. And most people are wrong calling it BTC or crypto cycles. It's just crypto reacting and dancing to the big economic levers, or levers. Let me think about that. I don't know about that. And not for the sake of arguing. I just don't know about that. Remember what crypto is. Crypto is technology. And I think you had a lot of companies out there start to realize that, hey, wow, this technology actually works. Hey, wow, we should probably implement this. And so they started looking at, well, how fast would we be able to settle? Like, people think I'm joking that, you know, I can walk into your business, I can walk into your store and be like, oh, I can set you up with crypto. You could accept crypto. It'll go straight to your wallet. No person in between. And you'll get all of your money. You'll get all of your money. Like that. Minutes. Seconds. Cardano's fast. It's getting faster. If you believe Solana's fast. You know, they don't have a lot of drop packets. No, of course not. Drop transactions. But anyway. Sui's fast, Ripple's fast, Cardano, duh. You have a lot of projects out there that are fast. So If you have regular retail stores start to get involved in crypto, one at a time, one at a time. And I don't mean getting involved with a credit card company that's going to translate crypto into fiat. No, I don't mean that. I mean really accepting crypto. Really accepting crypto. There are huge advantages to it. I think companies started figuring out, holy moly, I no longer have to settle at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of the month. That transaction is going to settle as soon as it says ding. Soon as it says ding, that transaction's over. Don't sleep on Hedera because it's fast too. So transaction happens, boom. I don't know if Steak and Shake is a good subject. I don't know if they're doing it directly or not. I didn't dig in too much, but they are implementing. So there's one retail chain, right? So how many other retail chains are going to go direct and directly accept crypto? Ding. Settlement's over. Chargebacks, not a thing. Fraud takes a drop, right? I think we're closer to mass adoption, right? We're way closer to mass adoption than we are from where we began, right? And adoption was like this. And then the incline just kept going like this. That's what I'm talking about. Hutanic, what's good, baby? Have you invested in yourself today? You know you got to answer that first. And where's Patient One? It's in the public conscience. Crypto is in the public conscience. But it's sort of like, how can I say? It's sort of like using AOL to get to the World Wide Web. That's where we are right now. All right, because I wanted to get that thought out. Bitcoin epochs are becoming less volatile. We are 95% to max supply. Yep. And he nailed it. Hutanic nailed it. Go read what he said. So now instead of this kind of stuff going on, we're going to start to see this kind of stuff go on. Not just straight up, straight down, straight up. It's gonna start smoothing out. Those drops, those pulls up, I think they're gonna be different. We can still shoot up, but I think that shooting up is gonna happen over time. I think we'll stair step our way up. And it'll be because of institutional purchases that get out there. It'll be because of adoption that gets out there, implementation that gets out there, education that gets out there. More people buy my $2. I know. But yeah. Oh, you just got off the road. Thank you for letting me know you invested in yourself. Thank you very much. I know you must have had a rough day. I believe you still owe me a response too, young man. But seriously, I think that the cycle that we're looking at, I don't think it's a cycle. I think it's a way of being. I don't know how to take that last statement, sir. Yes, I'm thankful. I was able to write those books. Are we in baby shoes? Some of us are and some of us are not. The bulk of us are and some of us are not. But because of that, I think that we're going to go up, but it's not going to be mass volatility because it's different. It's a different kind of way of being. It's so, you're talking about something that together can and will replace, fiats around the world. And that's when you start realizing, wow, this is a different world. This completely different world. Like what? And you're kind of like, whoa, wait a minute. And it's like, yeah, right. You start to realize, well, it's a different world right there. So what are we doing? Oh, we're going to be living life vastly differently than everything else. Because it doesn't take a lot to, accept crypto. It does not take a lot to dip your toe in the water and go get a wallet. That joy of that first transaction that you've done. Wow. Yeah. Everybody and their mom is going to have classes for regular retail investors. Okay. Bitcoin is starting to get an entire ecosystem built around it, and it's growing fast. Remove the word Bitcoin and replace it with the word cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies are starting to get an entire ecosystem built around it, and it's growing fast. Do you see the weight of that statement versus just Bitcoin? Bitcoin is, cryptocurrencies are vastly different. Just look at the financial vehicles that exist in regular traditional finance and how they're all being ported over to crypto. Futures, just all kinds of stuff. And you sit there and you just kind of go, oh, right. Once the 200 moving average stays in a tight range, people might regret selling, waiting for a dip. I don't know about that. Because there's always a pullback. There's always a pullback. And hold on a minute. Going to show you a little something. So, not the trend line. Where is it? Seriously? I just want to draw something. I'm going to just take a brush. I don't care. What's that? Right? What was that? Right? What was that? What's all these little ones around here? The deep orange is a 200-day moving average. The yellow one is the 20-day moving average. Just saying. So yeah, you see where I'm going with that? That's the idea. Pull that. You don't want to see duplicate. How many people here think BTC will come down to the 60s range in the coming bear market? What coming bear market? What is your definition of a bear market? What's that percentage drop when you go into the bear market? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be difficult, but I'm really seeking your idea about what's the definition of a bear market. How much does it have to drop for you to say that we're in a bear market? And how long do you think it'll stay there? All jokes aside, I'm dead serious. So we're above, we're at 104 and change right now, or 103 and change right now. How long, how long did it take for us? So let's see. I'm just bear with me. I'm just looking to see, like, where were we? There you go. There's that. So, I mean, wow. We're way gone on that. 50% down from 150K. So 75K. 75K. I think 50% is a big number. I think that's a really, really big number. But I mean, but look at what he's saying. At 150, at 120 you get down to 60 grand. At 150 you're down to 75 grand. Do you really think we're going to see those numbers again? We almost saw them just now. 78 grand from that 109 down to 78. 77, I think. So I don't know about that. And then you say, oh, well, the 200-day moving average, blah, 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 blah. I don't mind. I can be like Warren Buffett sometimes. I'm okay when I call a number for myself and I'm out. And it goes up. I don't care. I'm happy with what I got. And the market's never done me wrong. It's never done me wrong. Oh, it'll come back down. And it does. It'll come back down. And it does. I don't think the market's going to let us down. It's going to go up. It'll come down. How far will it come down? It'll come down past where I sold. At the very least. And then I'll buy back in. Even if I took all the money and bought back in, I've now got more coin than I did before. So I've increased my value. So as long as I buy lower than where I originally sold, I'm going to make money. And I'll be happier. And then I'll just wait. I'll just sit back and wait. But that's why I tell you guys, I'm not just playing a numbers game. I'm playing what's the adoption? What's the integration? What are the use cases? Who's behind it? What do I think the longevity is? What kind of services do they have? Are they going to be thinking about doing something else? I'm thinking about all those different things. I'm looking at a return on investment, but from a business perspective and not just from an investment perspective in a particular coin. Who's leveraging that coin? Who's working with that technology? Who else? What are they doing? How are they leveraging it? What's the news that's out there? Oh, there's another stable coin coming out. Why? Who? For what? I start to compare those things. Coinbase only has 1 billion BTC, so low supply should hold the numbers up. Yeah, at some point, yeah. I think at some point, the exchanges are going to go, we can't do these over-the-counter transactions anymore. We can broker deals between the people that want it and the people that want the digital asset and the people that need the money. We can broker those deals, but we're no longer going to be able to foot that for you. Like, you're not going to buy from our coffers. We'll play matchmaker and match you to them and collect our fee. That's when you're going to start to realize, okay, we're there. I don't know that we're going to have to wait 24 months. Again, you're pointing to it. Everybody's pointing to cycles. I get what you mean, but I'm saying in general, people are looking at cycles, and I'm like, I don't think the cycles are moving like that anymore. Because when you have a coin that's in use, that's being leveraged, fees, usage, make things go up. Different kind of world. Mass liquidity will come in and hold longer than in the past. That's true. But implementation, technological adoption, okay, that's going to be a big deal. That's going to be a big deal. That's why I keep saying I don't know that the timing is right. Look at this cycle right here. The cycle's already broken. Everybody says, oh, the nuances of this cycle are very similar to other cycles. Name another cycle where we hit an all-time high before it's time. Remember that? We hit an all-time high before we were supposed to. And then we came back down. And then what happened? We hit another all-time high. The cycle's already broken. People forget that big chunk right there. Cycle's already broken. It's done. This is a new world. It's a new world. Big corp will buy it up. I don't know about that. They can. But if retail wakes up, big corp is going to have a problem. And then the ultimate problem is going to be, okay, so you keep all the Bitcoin. Keep telling you guys, I think Bitcoin is going to be used differently than all the other coins out there. It is going to be used differently. Is being used differently. But the other coins that are out there are different. Hi Cardano, I see you. Limited, just like Bitcoin. Programmable, unlike Bitcoin. Fast, unlike Bitcoin. Cheap, unlike Bitcoin. See where I'm going with that? And Cardano's not the only one. It's just the easiest case to, to build as a comparison. So yeah, that's what we've got going on right now. Did you see where okay, you're talking about that. Swallow it up and lick their fingers. But remember, they need I think corporations are stupid in a lot of ways. We're just going to buy it and hold it. We're just going to buy it and hold it. We're just going to buy. Wait a minute. If the regular people don't have any of it, then how are we going to drive up price? You're not integrating Bitcoin. You're buying it and you're holding it. So doesn't that decrease the value? Yes, it does. For Bitcoin to continue to grow, it needs to be used. And these people are talking about, I'm going to buy hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin and not use it. I'm just going to keep it sitting there doing nothing. That's going to turn around and it's going to wind up biting them in the butt. It's actually going to turn around and go biting them in the butt. Because for these people to hold something of value, that exclusivity, in this difference, that exclusivity costs. If you don't use it, people start not wanting it. And if people don't want it, that value decreases. Because it's kind of like, why do I need Bitcoin? What does Bitcoin do for me? Sure, I can buy things with Bitcoin, but it's faster if I do it with one of these. So I'll go get one of those. It'll turn into a $2 bill. It's viable money. I got stacks of $2 bills. I love $2 bills since I was a kid. I've even got silver dollars, like real silver dollars. But you flick it and you can hear the difference in the bing. Yeah, you hear the difference. But so when you look at these things, you're kind of like, oh, there's a difference. You have to use the digital asset for that digital asset to have true value. But when you have these companies that are going to hold that and not use that, it loses that value. So they're going to have to circulate a certain amount. And that certain amount that's going to stay in circulation is probably going to be regulated by the exchanges by saying, yeah, we can't do that anymore, dude. We can't do that anymore. And you're going to see more action from other cryptos. People think it might be impossible, but it's not impossible for another coin to come around and supplant Bitcoin. It's not impossible. And then what happens to all those companies that are hoarding? Hoarding is the word. Hoarding. There you go. That's what we're looking at. Tonight's question: who is about to jump into the Canadian crypto market? Coinbase, MEXC, Kraken, or other? It's other. 12 votes. It's other. It is Robinhood that's going to buy WonderFi from Mr. Wonderful. That's right. That guy from Shark Tank. What's his name again? Yeah, that's what's going on. Okay, so there's somebody that's shilling. And that gets an immediate ban. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do that. There you go. Bye-bye. I'm not even gonna, nope. You don't come on here shilling coins. That was a blatant shill of a coin, and no. Bye-bye. Happens. It happens. Definitely happens. But anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, smash the likes, please. Smash the likes. We need the likes. And tell your friends about us because we also need the traffic. Why? Because the more people that are educated, what happens? That's right. The coins start to go up. That's what we're looking for. And just be careful out there. I know you guys listen to a whole bunch of people out there. In an up market, everybody's a rock star. We've been doing this since down market. And I like to think that we've helped a lot of people. Matter of fact, I know we've helped a lot of people. So be careful out there. Everybody's a rock star when the market's going up. And then they disappear when the market's going south. Just pay attention. Be careful out there. Anyway, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And as always, thank you so much for your trust. Everybody enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.